Excellent. Welcome to the Founders Games of the Webbit Global Impact Week. We are moving through some exciting startups and pitches today, and we've arrived at the HealthTech and the BioTech session. So the first thing we want to do, as always, is give a big welcome to the investors, jury members, and the startups will be presenting to them and trying to impress them and hopefully securing an investment or some support and help from these investors. So to start, we have Sabine, and she is the managing partner at the Alchemy crew. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.
Pleasure
to having me here.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have Ivana. She's managing partner at fundingbox.vc.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Dr. Stefanie, investment manager, life sciences at LBBW Venture Capital. Nice to see you. Welcome. All right, so I'm going to remind everyone of the rules and how this works. Each startup has 3 minutes, and we're going to play the video that they've prepared beforehand. Once that video is done playing, we'll take about 3 to 5 minutes to ask any specific questions or give any feedback from the jury. The jury has an important job of evaluating each of the startups that are presenting, and they're going to rank them on a scale from 1 to 10 in 5 different categories. So those categories are team capacity, project scalability, business approach, marketing approach, and the uniqueness of the idea. At the end of the presentations, we've got about 6 startups today in this session. At the end of that, we're going to have 7 to 10 minutes of feedback where the jury is going to just pour out their hearts and pour into these startups and give them advice or ask any additional questions. So we are excited to kick this off. And our first startup is going to be Medisante, a company from Switzerland, post-seed. They've raised €500,000 so far. And they put the Internet of Things, IoT, to work for care teams by enabling a seamless device interoperability with health IT systems. Let's check out their video.
I'm Gilles Lonsen-Fichter, the CEO of Medisante. Medisante empowers connected care by putting the Internet of Things to work for care teams. Teleconsultations went through the roof during COVID-19. Remote patient monitoring of elderly chronic patients who represent the bulk of healthcare costs is next in line. Let's first understand the problem that providers face. It's all about automating the collection of vital signs for care teams in their virtual care platform. Device vendors offer a mobile app and a proprietary cloud to enable self-monitoring and, most importantly, to monetize patient data. To enable remote patient monitoring, pulling readings from multiple proprietary device clouds can quickly become an IT interoperability and privacy nightmare. Relying on elderly patients to configure their device via a smartphone can also generate significant help desk costs and security risks. Medisante addressed both issues in order to minimize the device total cost of ownership. Emplastrum is the first vendor-agnostic telehealth device cloud that delivers seamless device interoperability. How does it work? Technical teams connect in 3 clicks Emplastrum with their health IT system and manage devices across vendor silos. Care teams assign devices in their health IT system. The patient ID or any patient identifiable information is never unveiled to a device manufacturer. This enables privacy by design. In the patient's home, no device configuration is required. The reading is sent direct to cloud to Emplastrum and pushed to the care team. What device types does Emplastrum already connect? We have integrated two types of OEM devices: GSM devices in the pink boxes, Bluetooth devices that connect direct to cloud via a GSM gateway in the blue ones. What health IT systems does Emplastrum already connect? We integrated into 50 of them, and some are listed here. Our primary business model, in addition to importing and reselling Emplastrum-ready devices, is a pay-as-you-go subscription model for device connectivity and device management in Emplastrum. To conclude, Medisante puts IoT to work for care teams by redefining device interoperability and management while keeping the device experience simple and secure for care teams and patients. Thank you for your attention.
Excellent. Well, anyone have any questions for Medisante? Giles is here.
Thank you. Sorry.
Hello.
Feel free. Ivana.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Coming back to your business model, who is the payer in this system?
Our clients are health IT system providers. There is a whole series of them. So companies like Salesforce that has a health cloud. So they have an install base of healthcare providers, of medtech companies, of pharma companies. And in the healthcare space in the US, for instance, there is a reimbursement for remote patient monitoring. So basically, they sell to providers who make money by monitoring patients remotely. Unfortunately, this model is only emerging in Europe, but it's prevalent in the US. So today, 90% of the worldwide market is in America, but we expect the shift to happen 70-30 in the next 3 years.
Thank you.
Jill, how has the elderly experience the solution? Either can you give us some of the benefits, and as it's a platform and we learn every day, what are the less nice outcome from the learning experiences as a result?
It's brilliant for elderly people because in fact, for instance, in the US, 40% of the people above 65, which are 90% of the target audience we talk about who need remote patient monitoring, right? 40% of these people do not have a smartphone. So what seems obvious for you or for me that we have maybe 2 or 3 is totally not reality in that segment of the population, the elderly population. And if you remove any need for configuration, because basically there is a SIM card directly in the blood pressure monitor, In fact, you just put your cuff, it gets sent to the device manufacturer, and all our devices are cellular enabled. So for the patient, zero-touch configuration has only benefits.
Very nice, thank you. And you're only in the US, or are you in other markets?
No, so we are headquartered in Switzerland, but yes, our goal is world domination, and so we need to go to the US.
Excellent. Gilles, thank you so much for that. Great job, great presentation. So if anyone has any questions, we'll save those for the end, but make sure to note those down. And if you have any additional questions, we'll ask them there. Our next startup is going to be Emplastrum. They're from Lithuania. They're a pre-seed company, and Emplastrum is developing devices for psoriasis treatment at home. All right, let's check them out.
Psoriasis is a disease due to which people's skin appear wounds. Do you know the psoriasis? Psoriasis is a disease due to which people's skin appear wounds that causes inconvenience. Over 125 million people suffer from this disease worldwide, including some of our friends. So that's why I know that current solutions for psoriasis are not comfortable, time-consuming, and inefficient. The most effective treatment is with UVB light. But imagine, 80% of patients have psoriasis on their back, arms, and legs. So who want to treat these places with one lamp or stand in front of a huge medical device for 20 or 30 minutes a day? Hi, my name is Oryx. I'm CEO and founder of Emplastrum. We have developed new way for psoriasis treatment. So let me introduce flexible, modular, different size devices which patients can put on their damaged skin places and treat it simultaneously, avoid unnecessary UV rays, and do other activities during the treatment. Our devices are connected with the telemedicine, which means that dermatologists could prescribe and track patients' treatment. Customers can get Emplastrum in two ways. They would be able to purchase or rent it from our channels, which will be pharmacies, dermatologists, or other medical device shops. And there is a lot of money to be made. The two biggest markets are USA and Europe. Between them, there are more than 20 million sufferers who spend over $4 billion on medical devices for psoriasis per year. Customers will choose us because we solve their problem by letting them live much higher quality lives. We enable them to have mobility, increase productivity, and overall happiness. Because of these social and health benefits, our solution was one of the best in European and world challenges. After what we developed the Works-like prototype, start patenting it, our device was validated by 20 clinicians. We have more than 200 waitlist of our customers. And by the way, we got 150k euros grant for developing our project. To realize our idea, we have well-experienced and cross-discipline team from Lithuania, which covers all this project field: product creation and manufacturing, clinical and medical trials, and of course, business development and sales. But we also need your help to empower this amazing team, to get more traction into the lucrative opportunity with our watertight business model and rock-solid solution. That's why we are raising this investment round to obtain CE mark, start manufacturing, pilot testing in Lithuania, and later on prepare for foreign market entry. Currently we have 5 business angels and VC who are already committed, and we are looking more for people who want to continue our story and help people with psoriasis.
We have Mazuras with us here. Does anyone have 1 or 2 questions for him and for his company?
I have a quick question around distribution, and of the technology. So how the business model is being implemented and how the technology or the solution is being distributed.
Yes, so thanks. Good question. There's 2 ways. One way is direct the customer. We can rent it or sell it direct from our headquarters. And the other way is distributors or hospitals and clinics. So hospitals and clinics could rent or sell it also to the end customer, and distributor role is the same.
Thank you.
Could you make a comment about the competition landscape, especially about the pharmacological treatment that are already available, like antibodies treatments and so on?
Yeah, so there is quite many treatment methods. So also pharmaceutical or biological injections are, they work, but people use it when it's severe condition. It means that we are targeting 80% of patients who have smaller damaged skin places, and they don't need to get the biological injections because it works for all human body.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, may
Well,
I ask a question just to start?
Yes.
Can you tell us more about the regulatory pathway? So which class of medical device is this?
It's second A, 2A.
Okay.
And can you remind us why you decided to take that problem, solve that problem?
Because one of our colleagues' mom has the psoriasis, and we saw how she's struggling with the treatment. And nowadays, if you want to get the UV phototherapy, which is most effective treatment, besides biological and injections, which are really expensive. So they should go each day to the hospital and repeat it for 1 month. And then they get the effect on the treatment. And nowadays, especially, it's hard because hospitals are overloaded and they even cannot get the treatment on time.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. That was Emplastrum. Next up, we have IntelliHearts. They are based from Italy and they're a pre-seed company. Their solution is long-term monitoring and a personalized approach are the goals medicine is looking for. Here's their presentation. Let's check out their video.
Hi everyone, I'm Lorenzo Rumeda, the CEO of IntelliHearts. Our aim is to democratize health technology, providing scientific accuracy to mobile and wearable devices. Cardiac diseases are in top 5 cases of death in Europe and USA. However, now we have an easy access to new tools and sensors, and you will be surprised on how many kind of information could be extracted from a one-lead ECG. Using devices already on the market, our algorithms grant an affordable access to personalized health analysis, making the user aware about their health and continuous real-time and long-term monitoring of vital parameters. Our algorithm analyzes the ECG track, extrapolating every bit of the ECG track, spotting several different kinds of arrhythmias, and the motion detection in a multi-class analysis. Our cardiac detection algorithms hit 95% of accuracy, but its unique value proposition is the ability to detect several cardiological patterns more than our competitors, which mainly focus on atrial arrhythmia only. Even if we are a software company, we have to compare ourselves with device producers too, such as Apple, Cardia, Empatica, and Withens. Some of them are not wearable. Others are fancy, but with a lack of a scientific accuracy. None of them has an affordable price and not the features that we can provide and that customer has expressed in 2004. Our business model is a B2B2C. For companies, we offer an AI API selling that grants an easy access and implementation of our technology in third parties platform and solution. For customer, we offer a mobile freemium app, which is going to be an invite-only system to be joined and is built in with a gamification approach, including reward features. Our motto is we care about your health. That's why we offer a modular subscription model and a device included in some of the offers. We are looking to raise 100K to improve our app and execute clinical trials. After that, we are going to need 280K to launch the B2C solution. We plan to reach the break-even between the first and second year, collecting 4 million in revenue until the third year. We are perfectly in time with our roadmap, and we are even anticipating some steps, like the B2B proposal and partnerships. Our team is done by 3 top veterans. Me, I'm an entrepreneur focused on business and sales. Vincenzo Lentamaro is a PhD in medical AI and CTO of one of the most important AI companies in Europe. And Luigi Moretti is a medical doctor with a transversal competencies in tech. And there are a couple of young professionals collaborating with us in developing our product. The Medical University of Lodz is going to support us in executing clinical trials. Thank you for watching.
All right, and we want to welcome Lorenzo. He is here with us from IntelliHearts. Two great questions from the jury.
Thank you for the presentation. And my question will be, what kind of signals do you transform and what kind of devices could be used to gather those signals?
Okay, right now we are going to use devices that are already on the market that are able to acquire a single lead ECG. It is an ECG signal, but only on the worst lead, right? So, and plus we use the PPG sensors that are included in the devices. In fact, the one that I use has 4 PPG, Q for oxygen saturation and Q for pressure and heart rate and all the vital parameters. And we go to analyze them using a strong AI behind more on the cardiac part We have algorithms for vital parameters too to set the threshold personalized to the user. So it's not like you have more than, so you have a problem. If you are a bradycardic person, you have a low rate of heartbeat, the device will learn that you have low rate and it will not send you an alert or something that is not going bad because it's okay, it's in line with your, your average.
Excellent. Any other questions?
So do you have any patent protection or any patent that you filed?
Yes, so we are working on that on patent about this solution. But mainly we are still not moving because we are going too fast comparing to European Commission that still not have an exact regulation about machine learning. Because right now the TRL is not regulated for machine learning because you should move on a different pattern. Because right now the TRL is prototype, move on side by side to have a step. For machine learning, using dataset, it will be different. So we are waiting the European regulation moves before do any moves because it will be money wasted.
Excellent. Lorenzo, thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to any more questions in the open forum portion of this session. Next up, we have LAIFE from Germany. They're a pre-seed company. It is a SaaS platform to generate artificial intelligence sounds and frequencies translated into music to help users relieve mental health issues and also help them enhance their performance in sports, work, and many other daily situations. Let's check out their video.
Hi, I'm Billy Mello, co-founder of LAIFE, a Berlin-based startup focusing on generating artificial intelligence music to relieve mental health problems and help people achieve life balance. So let's start talking about music. We listen to music all the time, when we're happy, when we're sad, alone, together with friends in the shower, working, doing exercises. Music is a powerful mood enhancer. But how can we enhance the well-being of people with sound and music? Well, when we add a layer of science and data under sound and music, we help users achieve life balance and relieve mental health issues. We know that 33% of the world population suffer from some kind of mental health problem, and the COVID situation, of course, only made things worse. That's where comes LAIFE. LAIFE is an artificial intelligence sound engine that creates original and personalized sounds to help people relieve mental health issues and achieve life balance. And how does it work? First, we rely heavily on science and medicine. Studies from universities all over the world says that music helps people relieve mental and physical problems. And we are also conducting our partnership research together with Erasmus University in the Netherlands. Second, we collect data from users through mobiles and wearables. And then we feed this data into a machine learning system so it generates the music people need for the moment. But then you might ask, what about music people love? Like, for example, if I want to run listening to Beyoncé. For that, we can integrate LAIFE with music platforms such as Spotify and Apple Music, categorize all those 70 million songs there, add this layer of data and science, and achieve the same results. We're actually having a partnership right now with Apple Music for development agreements. And what are the revenue streams? Well, we have our B2B model as a white label SaaS. First, we're going to start in sleep, then we're going to go to mindfulness to relieve anxiety and depression, and then we're going to go to fitness, where sports B2B, interactive home workout, sports data analytics, and wearables market is huge. Here are some examples of what we're doing. iDoom Technologies from Switzerland, they develop EEG capturing headphones and we provided them with pre-sleep audios. As you can see from the graphs below here, they're having such great results with these audios. We're also conducting a pilot with the SFC Köln, a team from the Bundesliga soccer here in Germany, where we provided them with post-game fatigue relief audios. We also have a partnership with Mindset Design, which is an app for poker players and stock exchange operators. We provide them with pre-games focused music. Erasmus University, as I mentioned before, and the research of music and emotional changes, HyperEyes and HyperVolt machine, and we have an LOI with Lululemon to provide music for the mirror. We are looking for 1.5 million euros for the next 21 months of development, and during this time we intend to have at least 5 B2B partners and 10,000 users in our B2B2C solution. Our team, we are 3 co-founders, very motivated and really experts on each one of our realms, and we have a board of advisors from wearables experts, sports tech experts, doctors, meditation experts, and so on. So thank you very much for your time. This is LAIFE. I'm open to any questions you might have.
All right, Billy, thanks for being here. Great presentation. Any questions for Billy?
Thanks for the presentations. How are you going to measure the beneficial effects given by the app and the music? I understand the case of EEG, but common users, they do not have own EEG at home.
For sure. For that, since we're collecting data from them, and for example, thinking about sleeping, insomnia issues, we can analyze the sleep pattern of the week, connecting through Apple Watch, Apple Health, or Google Fit, or things like this. And we understand that the person sleeps 4 hours a day, and we want to improve this level of sleeping. So by analyzing the data that comes to us and the data we are gathering during the whole process, we understand, oh, he's sleeping more, he's sleeping deeper, the person is sleeping deeper or more. The same with fitness. Like, for example, you run every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday 5K, and today you're not reaching your 5K limit because I don't know, you're slower and things like this. So we adapt the music to make you run faster and achieve this goal. Or you can set up a goal and say, okay, I want to start in 5K and run 10K in X amount of time. So we can provide this and also have this feedback from the data that's been constantly analyzed.
Okay, thank you.
So you seem to have a lot of partners and engagement in place or going to happen. What are the lesson learned when you go into those engagements around what they are looking for in using sound to support their customer base?
Yeah, the great idea that everybody that comes to us telling that they want to use music or sound in terms of this is the level of personalization we can provide. Because, okay, you want to run nowadays, you put your playlist on Spotify and there you run, okay, that's fine. But when we add this layer of personalization, even your Spotify playlist, we can adapt this to make you run faster or perform exercise faster. And also, if we both go to sleep tonight, I'm older, I take longer to sleep, and I'm in an ambient that has lots of outside noise and you sleep very well, that's okay. You're going to have soothing music, the same, but in a way that relates to you based on your music taste, based on where you are and everything, and I'll have the same. And if I'm not achieving the sleep process properly, the music will adapt and the sounds will be different, everything will be different. So we can provide this level of personalization, and that's what especially these interactive home fitness companies are looking for, not only providing a lot of hip-hop music to train, but specific hip-hop music based on your music taste that can relate to the ambient you are and the goals you want to achieve. This is the most important. That's what we are providing for them at the moment.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Billy. All right, our next startup is ECG Excellence. They are based out of the Netherlands and a post-seed company, having raised about 800,000 euros so far. They apply digital twin technology to improve the clinical and economic value of the classic 12-lead electrocardiogram. Let's check out their video.
Hello, my name is Hans Slijp. I'm the CEO of ECG Excellence, a Dutch company, and we are focusing on the 12-lead electrocardiogram. This great stuff was invented 100 years ago in the Netherlands by Willem Einthoven, and it has developed since then. Today, more than 500 million 12-lead ECGs are made every year. It's a total market of 15 billion euros. But there is a big interpretation problem. This is what a cardiologist gets to see, 12 graphs, and he has to make up his mind what's happening in the cardiac conduction. Only half of them are interpreted correctly. unfortunately, and it's because we have different embodied build, heart positioning, we place the electrodes in the wrong spots, etc. So we postpone diagnosis, people end up in the wrong hospitals, and we are late, and we use alternative technology, CT, MRI. Overall, it costs lives and costs, etc. Our company moved the whole stuff from analog to digital. Within the same workflow, same ECG equipment, we use digital twin, heart models, computerized modeling, algorithms, and we create software which does the whole thing and shows hidden diseases. Also, we use camera equipment to guide the whole process, so you can move the stuff outside the hospital, you can compare ECGs over time, and in the end we save a lot of cost and a lot of time. This is quite unique stuff. It's never been done before. So what we do, we take the 12 lead data from standard machines, we add computer models and electrode positions, either standard or patient specific, and we have an activation map, which is actually very close, because if you compare it to invasive mapping, which is the premium stuff, it's more or less similar. So what do? We have two product lines, CECG, which is software only, and it results in hidden diseases. Within 5-10 seconds, you've got it. Or we add with cameras and LED projectors. We support the whole process. We use the same standard ECG devices. ECG compares the solution, and we can compare ECGs, and we find the impact of personal life, of sports, medication, etc. Combining the whole lot, we call it Cine ECG Plus. This is our team, great guys, actually over 70 years of experience in this whole domain, and we've got a great team of key advisors. We have achieved a lot, million invested, 60 publications, 11 patents, collaborations all over the world. And our next steps are launching our software solutions, our funding round of 2.5 million. We've got very early ATL AF detection in line, and we are moving for CE, NDR, and FDA clearance. Thanks a lot.
All right, great. Any questions for Hans and ECG?
It's a very crowded market. What is your strategy to scale up?
Well, it's not a crowded market, actually, because there's no solution in the market to do heart conduction analysis. Everybody is talking about rhythm. We saw an example a couple of minutes ago, where you only need 2 electrodes, but there is no market and no solution available for using 12 leads, where you put 10 electrodes on the torso and you do that in a clinic. So what we do is we work with the cardiologists. Our first market is a genetic cardiac disease market, which are the most difficult to detect diseases. And we just validated our technology for Brugada, which is something sometimes occur when people suddenly drop dead. Mainly athletes are most recognizable for that. It's a familiar thing, so you have to check 200 patients. And we do it in, well, actually 10 seconds of ECG, instead of taking people to the cath lab and spending 3,000 euros on detecting it by injecting them with toxics and going in with catheters. And that's just one minor example of how we do it. So we already established in the genetic market. And the next thing that we do, we use a SaaS service. We are launching together with an American partner. And we're covering already about, well, at the moment we're targeting 50,000 remote ECGs, which are analyzed per week by these partners. And our solution will be added to it.
Excellent.
So my question, probably, if I may ask a question,
yes, of course.
Regarding pricing and reimbursement. What's your strategy?
Well, there are reimbursement codes for ECG analysis at the moment in place. And we already fit within that domain. So it's just an add-on on the normal algorithms which are already reimbursed. That's the easy entrance. When we start using the cameras, we need additional reimbursement for that. But actually, you can rate that again to an ECG recording and an ECG analysis. So we remain within the standard ECG reimbursement codes. And the big saving for the payers is that you don't need an echo ultrasound analysis afterwards or a CT scan, because these devices don't look at electricity. They only measure the mechanical aspects of the heart. And electricity changes first. So we can see atrial fibrillation 5 years ahead, for instance, before you start measuring it with an Apple Watch.
Excellent. thank you so much for your presentation and also from the feedback from the jurors as well. Next up is our last startup, and then we'll do the open feedback session. So it is NUADA from Portugal. So they're a pre-seed company having raised around 53,000 euros so far. And they develop soft and intelligent exoskeletons. Let's check out their video.
Hello, my name is Philippe Quinage, and I'm here to present NUADA. Our hands. They are very important to us. They are a vital part of who we are and how we see ourselves. They are amazing, but they are vulnerable. Unfortunately, millions of people suffer from two big problems: lack of strength and pain in the hand. When we think about lack of strength, you can think about elderly people or people that had strokes. And when you think about pain in the hand, you can think about arthritis or people that just perform very demanding professional activities. These two problems have a very high negative impact in the quality of life of these people, and that's why we've developed NUADA. NUADA is a soft exoskeleton device that looks and feels like a normal glove and is safe and light, simple, small and discreet, affordable, but most importantly, compatible with daily use. Let me show you how it works. So inside this glove, we have artificial tendons that connect to this bracelet. Both the bracelet and the glove feel like normal bracelets and gloves. However, when I want to hold something that's heavy, the sensors inside the glove understand what I want to do, and they help me close the hand around the object. But better than that, once I'm holding the object, I can relax my hand and I can still maintain hold. I can hold up to 40 kilograms of weight this way, and I still have full range of motion, and when I want to open my hand, I just open it and returns being a normal glove. So again, super easy to use, full range of motion. I can open and close my hand at ease. So again, very easy to use. Obviously, this being such a big problem, other companies try to solve it. However, they always relied on the method of actively pulling the tendons with motors, and this approach is highly inefficient, meaning that you need big motors, you need big batteries, and the force that they produce is very low. And so because of this, we feel that this approach is not compatible with daily use. We have two big markets, the healthcare market and the industry market. In healthcare, you have just in the EU and the US, 176 million users that have severe lack of hand function. So this is a great market for us. We have a great team in place that covers everything from idea, prototyping, and production. And production is key because we are actually making the production run here in Portugal in our own facilities. And also we have the team to cover everything from the communication, marketing, and sales. We are supported by a great team of advisors and a great group of big companies that have supported us throughout the years. So the most important thing that you really need to remember about NUADA is that NUADA is a natural device that people will even forget they are wearing. NUADA, your life, hands-on. Thank you.
Excellent. And we have Philip with us today. Does anyone have any questions for him?
Oh, I'm wondering, who is using the glove right now? Where is it being deployed?
Oh, yeah. So I just came back from the United States. We have a group of tests and clinics here in Portugal who have tested and validated the system. We actually have already some sales, and we just closed some partnerships from clinic groups in the US that will enable us to have the patients testing the system because this is novel. So they will go to their clinics, they will test, and then they will buy. This is from the healthcare side. On the industrial side, since the beginning, we have been supported by, or at least requested pilots by more than 200 individual companies, some of them big automotive companies, and we are doing pilots with them as well. So two different markets, the product is pretty much the same, and now we are assessing the traction. So they kind of develop in different timelines, so we can
So you said automotive market, right? Is it to help hold the...
Yeah, so for example, in an automotive market, there's people who have to hold an electric screwdriver for 8 hours a day. And obviously those people get injured in average after 3 years. And what they do is that they try to replace them. Each time a worker gets injured, it costs $25,000 US dollars. So it's a very expensive. It's a number which is very well defined, and so they really know this problem. But it's also a market with a bigger and longer sales cycle. And because we are not manufacturing big quantities, it's something that we can go into as we grow. Right now, it's easier to sell for healthcare because people, once they try it, they immediately see the value because they start to do things that they couldn't before. And obviously, this is a very quick way to start with very low units on a market which is bigger and has more value, so we can ask for more money.
Thank you.
What is the feedback from the patients? And the second question is whether it could, in some cases, work in a way that it actually slows down rehabilitation because the work is done by the glove, not by the patient itself.
Yeah, so those are two very interesting questions. So regarding of what the patient can do and some use cases. So for example, in hand tremor, because it kind of locks the fingers in place, removes completely the hand tremor. People are able to hold knives, forks, cups. So even if it's just being able to eat by themselves again, it's a huge improvement in quality of life. And these are actually the main early adopters, let's say, because they use this more often. Regarding the actual use case. So the idea is that you can actually use the system while you are recovering. Let's say if you had a surgery, you can use the system while you are recovering, and then you give the glove back and you hire it, you lease it as a service from your healthcare doctor. For people who have long-term and they cannot recover anymore, then it's always going to be beneficial, because if they couldn't use the hand, all the arm would also atrophiate and be less used because of that. And what we see is that actually there's a huge benefit even for other zones like the shoulder and elbow by using this system, because people are able to do more things than they would before. Obviously, there's the risk of people being lazy, but then the doctor can say, okay, you cannot use the system for more than 15 minutes per day. And so we can configure everything in like this kind of, it's not the smartwatch, it's like our processing unit. We made it look like a smartwatch, so okay. It's less interest.
Excellent. Well, thank you again, Philippe. That was our last startup for the first part of this session. So the jury is going to provide their evaluation to the winners, and the winners will then be, they're going to provide their evaluation to the startups, and then the winners are going to be announced online at the website. And so now is the time I was talking about earlier. We've got about 7 to 10 minutes to give some general feedback to the startups that are presented. And if there are any specific questions for the representatives of the startups that are here, please feel free to ask now as well. So we'll start that right now. And great job, everyone.
Yes, maybe one general comment from my side, where I was lacking in most of the presentation was the real pathway to the market. Unfortunately, the world is not working in a way that if you have a better product, you automatically will be acquired by the customers, patients, and the users. So the question to actually all of startups to answer in a way is, how you want to approach the market, and in less generic way than just going to the hospitals or to patients, because usually it's not enough to gather real traction.
So I can start, because in our case, we already have sales. And obviously these initial partnerships that we created is to create the baseline, but then we have our own web store at our website. And then we also have already specialized distributors in the two verticals for two different geographies, US and Europe, that can pick us up when we can deliver more than 5,000 units.
And for us, it's a little bit similar. We have an indirect go-to-market. So we have these software companies that do remote patient monitoring. So they have a whole sales force, let's say, that has access to healthcare providers, or in the life science space, they have access to clinical trials, to CRO. So we could win multiple clients during the pandemic that have now passed the 1,000 units of devices deployed in multiple use cases. But yes, it needs to be an indirect go-to-market.
I also could add from our side that we have medical device, and in order to sell, we should have the CE mark or FDA in US. And we cannot sell now, but we have 240 customers who are in waitlist. So they're committed to buy our device. So we can say that we have pre-sales of 240 devices, and we're waiting when we can get the CE mark to distribute these devices.
Okay. And
please go ahead.
For us, we have chosen the indirect way as well. We've chosen partners who have already, as I said, established over 20 years with a track record of doing remote ECG analysis for thousands of users. And they are just embedding our software in their analysis at the moment. So we are immediately reaching out to their user base and actually add it to the whole portfolio of these clients. And the first feedback is that everybody who started using it within 5 minutes says, I will continue with this. That's it.
I think what I can see from all of you guys, and I'm really sorry because I have to actually jump into a board meeting, is that you're all actually working on what we call a digital ecosystem embedded type by business model, where your distribution model is going to be very important. One thing I was not really clear is which is going to be your core market. Where are you going to start? I didn't get that. So as an investor, I would not want you to go to every market and solve everybody's problem. I would want to know where will you start, even with your digital ecosystem approach and your distribution approach, to know where we are going to start and where we are going to move on. I think it was not really clear from your propositions and your investor pitch where we are going to start making money together.
In our case, on LAIFE, I can be quickly brief. We're going to start in the sleep market, which is huge, and we already have some agreement with hardware providers like wearables, and also there are some things that you put under your mattress to sleep better and things like this. So we are already focusing on this. We have our own sales team doing this, and we also have 2 business partners, one in Europe and one in the US, looking for clients in this realm. Then we're going to go to mindfulness, which is another different market, and then fitness, which we also have some business partners, partners, so to say. But the first one is going to be sleep, so which is huge, and everybody sleeps. So this is something we have to look after. Yeah,
excellent. And we've got about 1 minute left if any of the jurors want to make a comment. And Sabine, thank you again for being here. We know you have to jump, so really appreciated your feedback and your time as well.
Yeah, probably from my side, I mean, you're all really early stage companies. So, but from what you're presenting, it's always rather broad, and I'm missing a little bit the concrete use case. Where are you trying to develop and market your product at first? So this is something that you really should consider developing, because when we as investors see only a broad, oh wait, okay, we could target probably 500 products and 5 different markets, but then we feel like, okay, this is what you tell us, but you have nothing to prove for the moment. So this is really try to work on your first proof of concept.
Thank you so much for that. So that will conclude this session, and we want to just say thank you again to everyone on the jury. Thank you to all the startups that have presented. We'll be doing the next session of this HealthTech and BioTech in about 10 minutes, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. So thank you again. Good luck to all the competitors, and just thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello and welcome to the second part of the HealthTech and BioTech session at the Founders Games of the Webbit Global Impact Week. So far, we have had 3 sessions and startups having their go to impress the jury. We're continuing with the second part of the software startups in the health tech and bio industry. And so we want to give a welcome to the jury that we have. And all new jury members, so excited to have them on, excited to have them judging. So first of all, we want to introduce Ivo. He's the general partner at Hambro Perks or Oryx Fund. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Next up, we have Kevin, partner in corporate investing at Mach 49. How are you, Kevin?
Excellent. Hello from San Francisco.
Awesome. Early, really early.
Good morning. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you. Really, thank you for being here. And last but not least, we have Daniela she's managing director at Wise Guys Growth at Startup Wise Guys.
Hi, Jonathan. Very happy to be here, and I can't wait to see all the startups rocking the stage.
Awesome. We just had fun with one of your partners that was judging another round as well. So glad you guys are supporting and welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to give you the rundown of the rules just so everybody's on the same page. So each startup has 3 minutes to show their video that they've created beforehand. Once their video finishes playing, the jury will have the opportunity to ask questions for anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And we'll keep those questions at probably 2 questions per video. And then if there's any additional questions from the jury, we'll handle that in the last 10 minutes of the sessions, where we will do an open session. So the jury can give feedback or ask specific questions. The jury has the important task of ranking each project that is pitching. They're going to be evaluating them in 5 different categories on a scale of 1 to 10. Those categories are team capacity, project scalability, business approach, marketing approach, and the uniqueness of the idea. So if everyone is ready to go, we're going to kick it off with AlephBot. They're from Israel and they're a pre-seed company. They help maximize treatment efficiency during and after medical procedures, providing teams with valuable real-time information adaptive to their actions. Let's check out their video.
Hi, I'm Ofer Talmor, CEO and co-founder of AlephBot. AlephBot helps medical teams maximize treatment efficiency during and after medical procedures. It provides the team members with valuable real-time information that is adaptive to their actions and to the procedure stage, even if the team is under pressure or can't recall procedure steps by heart. AlephBot also auto-document the medical procedure. In my background, I'm a technology product executive in the ICT industry, and I also gained experience as a commander in a field medical evacuation unit. In August 2011, my daughter began a long journey in hospitals. Having this journey with her, I witnessed many points where technology and data could have improved treatment. I teamed with my good friend Chen, who was at the time a chief architect in HP for an AI analytics product. Together we formed an A team, not that A team, but the Aleph team. The American Heart Association has an ambitious target to dramatically reduce the 475,000 annual deaths from cardiac arrest. We believe that our product can help a lot. Let's see some numbers. The average survival rate of in-hospital cardiac arrest is 25%. A research from 2016 showed that excellent hospitals can outperform with nearly 38% survival rate. On the other hand, there are hospitals with survival rate of 9%. Human factors were found to be the primary reason for this difference. Our own collected data from Israeli hospitals is in line with those findings. 40% of medical teams do not recall the protocols, and the rate of errors in procedure steps is approximately 50%. Based on that, we're developing the first product based on our system, a smart resuscitation station. During the medical treatment, AlephBot collects data from several resources: sound and verbal communication, medical devices, the patient's data, and the preloaded clinical protocols. Using local compute resources, we process, fuse, and analyze the collected data in real time. We then provide the results of the real-time analysis in an accessible way. The medical team receives suggestions and relevant information. Our product implements human factor science and supports medical teams in order to improve treatment efficiency, save lives, and reduce costs. From day one, AlephBot cooperates with hospitals in Israel. We are active in our target markets: US, Germany, France, Italy, and the UK. The company won several national and international events and competitions. Our initial target market is the resuscitation medical devices in North America and Europe. It is a $3 billion market with a CAGR of 4.5%. We aim to begin sales in 2.5 years. Our next products that will improve procedures in ORs, labor rooms, and EMS will utilize the same technological platform. The products target bigger and increasing markets. Our advantage is that we capture the human perspective of a procedure and we add this layer to the data collected from other sources. Therefore, we gain higher accuracy of the analyzed medical situation, which enables us to identify the procedure stage and provide meaningful info in real time. Thank you, and join us to reduce medical errors.
Excellent. And we have Ofer here with us. So does anyone from the jury have one or two questions for him?
I do.
Excellent.
Okay. My first question. So I understand that the product is a station that you carry around when you have this critical situation, but how do the medical team receive advices in real time? Do they need to check the screen? Do they get like vocal messages from the station? How does it work in practice?
So first of all, very nice to be here and thank you. And thank you for the question.
Thanks, Ofer.
Secondly, you're absolutely right. It's a mixture of all kind of sensoric information. So primarily it would be presented in the screen as we saw in the video, but also vocal information. And in the future, maybe haptical. So some kind of, a smart a wearable that can draw the attention of the practitioner to have a look on the screen.
Okay, so this is on your product development roadmap anyhow, but at the moment, the most of it is on screen, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and then my other question, Ofer, you have been showing a slide in the video where I have seen a number of team members, but I'm not very clear on the skills and competencies of the different people across the organization.
Okay, so as I presented myself, I'm coming from the ICT industry, and
Your profile is clear.
All right, fantastic. So the rest of the
for
team,
the others.
Yeah, so the rest of the team, my co-founder is coming from HP. He was a chief architect over there, and we're getting support from. We're located at Technion. It's the leading technological university in Israel, and it leads us to to get some professors that can help us. And we have two of them in the advisory scientific board, and also we have 3 MDs in our board.
Okay, but the core team is made by yourself and your co-founder, which I understand is the CTO, right?
Yes, that's the founding team.
Okay, and aside from the funding team, are there other members who are working on this project full time?
Yes, so we have 2 software engineers and one that is related to the interface between the medical device itself and the medical team, which is a crucial part of the product, because everything should be delivered in real time.
Okay, so it's a technical team, anyhow.
Yes, it's a technical team. We're still, as said in the video, we're still in an early stage R&D phase. We're working from day one in hospitals, but still we're during the R&D phase.
Okay, thanks a million.
Well, thank you, Alfer. And again, for the panel, if there's any additional questions that we don't have time to address now, we will definitely get to those at the end of the session. So next up, we have React for Life. And so they're coming from Italy post-seed, and they've raised about 100,000 euros so far. They have developed a multi-in vitro organ, MEVO, an innovative fluidic bioreactor emulating portions of the human body to improve the effectiveness of pharmaceutical tests, discover innovative therapeutic approaches, and reduce animal testing. Let's check out their video.
Good morning, everybody. I am Maurizio Aiello, the CEO of React for Life. When a new drug has to be developed, there are some preclinical tests executing on very simple in vitro testing or animal model before passing the drug to the human. But when the drug is passed to the human, we see an incredibly high 80% failure rate, which leads to very high cost, 1 to 3 billion for a single drug and a long time, 12 years. Our solution is MEVO, which is multi-in vitro organ device, so an organ on chip, a device able to host human tissue, recreating the human organ in the lab. MEVO has several advantages, but I will help myself with a video that describes better the device and how it works. So here in the video, you can see our lab and our device and the liquid flow that is flowing through the tubes to reach a tumor biopsy, recreating exactly what it happens in the human body. So a very simple and very effective system to recreate the human physiology. Our business model is a sell and disposable, which is very comfortable for the customer, but on the other side, for us, means recurrent revenue, low cost of good, and high scalability. Of course, we also provide instrumentation and biological kits from our partners. Our go-to-market strategies foresee in the stage 1 direct selling to the research and development entities, and we signed an agreement for distribution in Italy. Of course, in the second stage, we are going to expand our network of distributors and to start some pilot studies with pharma companies. By the way, on the bottom, you see some of our top customers, and among them, there is already a pharma company. Since we have low COGS and low distribution and sales cost, it remains to us an exceptional gross margin of 65%. And we need at present 2.4 million euro to enlarge our marketing activities and to create new devices specialized for pharma companies. So far, we have reached several milestones, 3 patents, we have 6 international awards, 1 European project, Horizon 2020, and we launched our product in January 2021, reaching 50 customers in 15 countries. Of course, we also have scientific validations. Apart from me, I am the CEO of the company. There is also Silvia Scaglione. She's the chief scientist, and she has been awarded or appointed by the European Commission of the role of ambassador for the EIC program because of her capacity to bring basic research to the market. Apart me and Silvia, there is also people from the operating office, technological office, marketing department, and of course, R&D lab. So far, this is my presentation. Thank you for listening to me, and goodbye.
All right, well, who would like to go first with questions for React for Life?
I can start with this time, Jonathan. Thanks so much for the presentation. Super interesting concept. Just so I understand the product, you're just simulating the internal condition. You're mechanically reproducing the internal conditions of a human body. That's and not any specific organ or actually human body part. Is that accurate? It looks like you're using microfluidics to basically simulate different pressures and the liquid environment inside us. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, you're understanding correctly, with the exception, well, we are not microfluidics, but we're millifluidics, but this is a slight difference. And in any case, the other important exception is the fact that we are able to host every type of human tissue. So it can be cells, for example, in an insert, or it can be directly a biopsy, as you can see in the video. So the system by itself is so flexible that it can host every tissue if you use the proper tissue. That's exactly what we did with our partners, because we don't provide human tissue, but we buy human tissue directly from provider or from hospitals.
Got it. And from the customers that you're already working with, and it looks like you have quite a few scattered across a number of countries, what's the most common use case or research application they're using for your product?
Well, research applications are so wide that we don't have a specific one. We receive a lot of requests, for example, for immuno-oncology and for immunotherapies, because this is an important field of research that cannot be done on every device, but it can be absolutely done with our device, because we can host natural killer cells, CAR T cells, immunocells in any case, and we can host also tumor biopsies. So opening the doors for example, for personalized medicine.
How long do cells stay viable within your system?
Well, the viable, if you mean the cells, or what you mean?
Cells. Yeah.
Well, we typically, as I told you, use our partners. So it happens that we sell the device, we sell also tissue, but the tissue flows directly from our partners to the final customers, because of course they travel with the particular conditions.
No, I know. Once you put them into your system, not the actual supply chain component. So if you put a cell into your
device.
Yeah.
So the question is for how long they can live?
Yeah, inside your system.
The system is sterile. There is no time limit. For example, we were able to maintain a culture of cells for 1 month, and over then we stopped. Also, the important fact is that we are able to culture 3D cells, because we have another patent with hydrogels, so we can recreate the 3-dimensional structure and then embedding the cells inside.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that presentation. And again, we'll be able to ask additional questions at the end. Next up, we have Alertgy. So they're based out of the USA, a post-seed company. They've raised about 2.5 million euros. They have developed the first wearable dielectric spectrometer. Let's check out their video.
their situation is with their blood sugar.
Excellent. And we have Mark here with us, if I am not mistaken. So any questions for Mark and Alertgy?
Mark, hi. I wanted to ask a question. I have a few friends with wearables related to diabetes, measuring blood sugar, glucose levels, etc. I'm not an expert in the field. How unique is your offering? I do believe the wearables I'm referring to require a needle. So they wear it somewhere on the shoulder, not on the wrist. Help us understand how unique is the product, and isn't this already covered widely in the marketplace?
Well, it's totally unique because it's non-invasive. There is no needle that needs to be inserted under your skin. Those sensors have to be replaced every 2 weeks. They also are interstitial only. In other words, they're not measuring the glucose in your blood, they're measuring it in your fatty area. And so there's a lag. And so that could be a problem for like my wife. Sometimes she has a low blood sugar and she takes some candy to bring her blood sugar up and she gets impatient. And I have to tell her, you have to wait 30 minutes before you'll actually see the effect because of the lag. And so what we have is a technology that's like an MRI, except instead of using a magnetic field, we use an RF field, which captures the spectrum of the body. And from that, we can look at glucose real time in the blood. But not only that, we can also see insulin. And we're working with research organizations right now to move that forward. We can see a lot of other disease states as well. As we progress down the road, we can look at other things like Alzheimer's as well with this type of technology. So this technologies are very broad in its application. We're starting off with diabetics because I had to invent this product for my wife.
Thank you. Understood. Thank you. I mean, it sounds like, and you've already raised 2.5 million euros. Sounds like
yes.
Marketing aggressively could make you a leader in what you're trying to do. If
yes, we just won the DXPX 42+1 contest, first place for technologies in the world. We had international competition with a $500,000 check to help us along the way. So thank you.
One quick question from my end. So I know I understand the RF frequency. The non-invasive measurement of blood sugar and glucose, there's many different forms of spectroscopy. The measurement of what's happening internally is as important. Well, is not as important as really how you measure and interpret those results, right? And I think there's like 3 or 4 different types of spectroscopy you could be doing to try to get to the conclusion. Which type are you using?
So I was actually a subject matter expert in molecular spectroscopy. I worked for Thermo Nicolay, which is the #1 optical spectroscopy company in the world. So there's a big difference between optical spectroscopy and what we're looking at. What we're looking at are changes in 3 different modes. We're looking at changes in frequency shifts. We're looking also at amplitude shifts, and we're also looking at phase shifts. And we get extremely complex signature. And unlike the optical techniques, which are point source and they're extremely sensitive to movement and also are extremely affected by skin effect, we don't have those issues. The biggest challenge we had to overcome was I was a director of engineering for Stanford Research Institute, Marine Space Science Technology Group. We were doing electromagnetic sensors for seawater, is that seawater attenuates RF signal. And in order to have an RF field, be able to see the entire spectrum, we had to create a unique technology to allow us to see that spectrum at the low frequency range. And so that's how we made this possible when nobody else is able to make it possible through this application of DARPA-derived technologies.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Mark, thank you so much. I'm loving it. My mom is a diabetic, and we've had a couple of scares with her throughout, her life. And so this is something that I think many individuals can relate to, connect to, and know somebody who could benefit from it. So thank you.
Yeah, and actually, really quickly, I just wanted to say that no matter what happens, I'm ahead because I saved my own life, because I found out I was hypoglycemic. My A1C was 12.8. I had a blood sugar with my system of 500. I call my doctor. He says, "You're not a doctor. You can't diagnose yourself." Later on, he says, "Well, you're diabetic." I say, "I know." So no matter what happens, I'm ahead.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for your participation. All right. Next up, we've got Qidni Labs out of Canada, post-seed. They've raised 1.5 million euros, and Qidni is offering the world's most accessible and cost-effective dialysis technology through the development of a portable and waterless dialysis system. Very excited to see this.
My name is Murtaza Ahmadi. I'm the founder and CEO of Qidni Labs. We are developing the most accessible dialysis technology in the world, so the patients with kidney failure have access to dialysis anywhere and anytime. There are 3 million patients with kidney failure on dialysis in the world. When kidneys fail, most patients go to a dialysis clinic 3 times per week and stay attached to this fridge-sized machine for 4 hours at a time. Unfortunately, there are also 10 million kidney failure patients in the world who do not have access to dialysis. One session of dialysis needs 120 liters of highly purified water, which comes from purification of about 500 liters of water. Kidney failure patients who live far away from a dialysis clinic and do not have access to a high-quality water source or dialysis quality water purification system won't have access to dialysis. To solve this problem, we have removed the infrastructure needed for dialysis. We have developed a dialysis system that works with less than a liter of water instead of 120 liters, and it can be powered by rechargeable batteries, and instead of being the size of a fridge, it is truly portable, weighing about 7 kilograms only. Also, our dialysis system is connected to the cloud, so we can monitor the treatment from long distances. Our technology has been validated in long-term studies in sheep model with no kidney function. In addition to in-center dialysis and home dialysis, our technology can be used in several scenarios where existing dialysis technology is not available. In particular, we can dialyze patients in rural areas, in natural disasters, in ambulances and emergency settings, in battlefield, and in nursing homes. We are now raising capital to perform a pilot clinical study in patients with kidney failure starting Q1 2022. We also plan to perform a full clinical study in 50 patients in 2023. The data will be submitted to FDA for approval later 2023. In comparison to the competition, we keep the treatment time similar to the current dialysis treatment time. We also estimate that our competition's cost of treatment would be up to 10 times higher than us. We have 3 granted patents and 15 submitted ones. We own 100% of the rights of the patents. We plan to become a dialysis service provider in the US and around the world. The patients will receive treatment at home, and nephrologists can use our cloud-based platform to monitor the treatment at their offices. We have raised $1.5 million from investors and grant agencies, and we have a world-class team of engineers, scientists, and clinicians. We are raising capital to complete our pilot clinical studies in patients with kidney failure. Thank you.
All right, and we actually have Murtaza here with us. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
May I have a quick question, Jonathan?
Yes.
Okay. You guys talked about 3 patents. May I ask you in which countries they were granted?
Can you repeat the question, please, Daniela?
Yeah, you mentioned that you have 3 patents, right?
3 granted ones and 15 submitted.
Yeah, I'm talking about the granted ones.
Yes.
Can you tell me in which countries?
They're in Japan and China.
Okay.
And Europe as well. So in Germany.
And so they are covering Japan, China, In Germany?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
I can go next. I had a question. Mechanically, what is different about your dialysis machine that allows it to be so much smaller and require only 1 liter of water? I know the water problem in dialysis, the reason it needs to be high purity is because they have to pass through so much of it through a human body that there can be a lot of waterborne pathogens. But I imagine that in traditional dialysis, it's required to basically help the process along. What have you mechanically or scientifically changed about your device that you can reduce that?
Thank you for your question, Kevin. So the way dialysis works is that you run blood across a semi-permeable membrane, and then on the other side of the membrane, you're running what's called dialysate, which is technically just mixture of water and salt. And the driving force is osmosis, so toxins would move across that semi-permeable membrane from blood into water. The water gets saturated. That's why they need to replace it with fresh one. That's why they need 120 liters of it. In our system, we have developed polymer-based materials that can absorb the toxins, but they don't get saturated as fast, and they have very high saturation limits. And so it basically you can use much less amount of material, but and get the same result.
Oh, thank you so much. And then in terms of so it sounds like it's more of an advanced materials play that's allowed you to reduce the size of the dialysis machine. In that case, how expensive do you imagine that polymer to be, and the replacement cost for someone in a rural area who buys one of your machines? Are they going to have to replace that component of it every 5 sessions, every 10 years? Give me a sense.
So the way it works is that we have developed cartridges which are disposable, and they have to use 1 cartridge per treatment, and then they throw it out. So that's how it works. And the cost of it remain very much similar to the cost of existing treatment, which is dialysis at, let's say in center or at home. So the cost of it remain very similar. And the competition we have, again, they have cartridges which have exotic materials, and they can cost 5 to 10 times of existing treatment. But in our case, again, it's polymer based, it's relatively cost effective and cheap, and cost of treatment remain low.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I've got a personal story. My grandfather actually passed away on a dialysis machine. So I encourage you to continue looking for this solution, because that would have helped. That would have helped a lot. So
thank you for sharing that, Jonathan.
Yes, thank you. All right. Sorry, I got emotional. Our next startup is iFocus Health. And so they're also out of the United States. They're a pre-seed company focused on changing ADHD care by creating the first true ADHD treatment monitoring system. Let's check them out.
I'm Adi Diner, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of iFocus Health. A few years back, my son was diagnosed with ADHD. We learned that there are 30 different types of prescription medication and numerous other non-pharmaceutical solutions. However, the only way to know which treatment to take is to ask the kid or his teachers, how was your concentration today? That wasn't good enough for me. And it's not good enough for many others. As a result, 60% of the kids drop treatment within 2 years. ADHD drives a 40 billion rapidly growing market, serving over 5 million kids in the US alone. We have a patent-pending technology to monitor ADHD treatment using eye tracking. It's simple to use and runs in the background on your child's computer. iFocus Health provides objective data, no guesswork. Thanks to our proprietary AI algorithm, we are powering data-driven treatment decisions. What medication, dosage, any additional treatments, and more. And we are providing families with the best suited treatment and peace of mind. Why eye tracking? Have a look at our proof of concept. This is an example of how a high schooler that has ADHD reads without their medication. The red dot represents their eyes, or what they're looking at. You can see how hard they're working, and how much they need to read and reread each part in order to understand it. Here you can see how the same person reads when they take their medication. Look how much more efficient they are, and notice how much information we get from looking at their eyes. We showed these results to experts and clinicians, and they're all super excited. We have completed proof of concept with 10 patients, and we're now launching a data collection MVP that will enable collection of information from hundreds of additional patients. Our business model is B2B2C. We'll be working with clinics, providing them with recurring revenue, starting with out-of-network, out-of-pocket policy with the leading clinics here in the Bay Area, and working towards digital pharmacies and insurance coverage. I'm super proud of our team. I bring product development expertise, Einat brings data science and machine learning expertise, and Yuli brings expertise in the business of the healthcare world. This is our amazing advisory team, consisting of leaders in the clinician research, clinical research, and computer science world. Thank you very much.
Ivy, pleasure to have you here. Does anyone have any questions for iFocus Health?
Where is the eye monitoring device, and why limit this device to children? Why not, teenagers and young adults as well,
definitely.
who are outside the educational system?
Yeah, so first, we're gearing anyone age 12 and over, and we're working for younger ages. Reading is better for those ages, and we're using your webcam, so no devices required.
Help me understand the B2B2C model. I understand the value. It's intuitive to me, the value of your technology in helping, a clinician actually assess the efficacy of some of their treatments. So are they paying you to increase the outcomes from their therapies? Or I guess I don't really understand how it's getting sold from the clinician to the patient.
Yeah, so and I'm getting that from talking from patients and clinicians. The pool is from both. There are 30 different types of prescription medications today and numerous other treatments. And as a parent, you want to know your kid is getting the right treatment. So that's a huge concern from everyone I talk to. The other part, so that's the interest of the parent or the user. The other part is the clinics not only want better outcomes, they also are spending a lot of time on follow-up care when there's lead times for over 6 months to get new patients in. So in this way, primary care physicians will be able to take care of the patients and free the experts, the psychiatrists, to meet new patients. So our model starts with out-of-pocket payments, as most of the leading clinics are out of network, and parents are paying many, many thousands of dollars in the space, and working towards insurance coverage for the issues I mentioned before.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Adi.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely have some time at the end if there's any additional questions, of course. So next up, we have Elemeno Health. And so they are from the USA. They've raised a Series A of 7 million. And Elemeno Health's cloud solution helps healthcare systems empower their frontline teams with readily customizable, bite-sized support, accessible and consumable in the moment on any device. Let's check out their video.
Hi, I'm Dr. Roop Roy Berman, founder and CEO of Elemeno Health. As a former ICU medical director, I understand how important it is to empower our nurses and teams with the support they need to do their job right. Elemeno delivers this with no IT needed. The end result is improved safety and decreased costs. The biggest problem in healthcare today is the lack of people. We need globally 9 million new nurses by 2030. Unfortunately, the pipeline cannot supply this. In addition, we need to find solutions to be able to up-level lower skilled staff and to be able to cross-train existing staff to be able to fill the gaps. However, the status quo for training and support does not work. The end result is that our nurses are not confident, burnout is rampant, and turnover is increasing. We have medical errors and we have waste. Now, healthcare is a team sport. It's about doctors and nurses working together in their location. What can we learn from other types of teams? In professional sports, we have rules, we have non-contextual training sessions, and in the moment with your team, your people, your opponent, and your field, you've got the playbook. Healthcare is no different. We have rules and we have trainings, but the playbook is missing. Elemeno fills that gap with a solution that is customized to your drugs, your devices, your people, your place. We deliver just-in-time team training and support that is always current, easy to update, seamless on web and mobile, personalized for you, a playbook in your pocket. Whether it is helping you stay in touch with the latest in COVID protocols in your organization, in your team, or for helping to onboard new travelers and new hires with the way to do things with your devices and your people and your patients. It works. We've published in Emergency Medicine Journal how we've been essential for driving safety with team communication in COVID in the midst of the pandemic. And our clients across the US have shown remarkable increases in patient safety, medical errors cut in half, nurse educators 75% more efficient, nursing turnover down 50%, and big dollar savings. It's reflected in our traction, 1.75 million ARR with no churn, with clients in acute care, in post-acute care, and in ambulatory. And they are all sharing practices with one another, democratizing access to knowledge so that we are the go-to network for best practices worldwide, radically improving patient safety and empowering every healthcare professional to provide the best care possible to every life they touch. We're about doctors and nurses working together with seasoned IT professionals, and we're recognized for our innovation at the front lines and the reduction of medical errors. We're now raising capital to drive our sales and marketing and our product and dev to blow out that shared marketplace and thereby elevate quality, empower the front lines, and engage us all as one team. Thank you.
All right, and we have Dr. Arup here with us. Who wants to start?
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, my question is the following. Where does the content come from? So who is producing the content that nurses can then leverage?
So in every team, if you're in an ICU, you're in an emergency department, you have a manager, you have a director. They are the captains of those teams. The content that they have may be practices that they have grabbed from their system, maybe from other hospitals, it's other national best practices. They are the source of the content. It's our job to transform that into bite-sized nuggets and deliver that on the app. However, once they put their content in, they can make it shareable. So that creates a growing community through which other managers can see what others are doing, whether across the street or across the country around the world. You can grab that and create your own derivative work and deploy it. The other piece is that we can start to correlate that with this hospital has very low line infections. That's a great practice. Hey, maybe you want to grab that and bring that over here. So we start to leverage, that community from the bottom up.
Okay, and if I am a nurse, okay, and I'm facing any challenge, okay, how do I pull out this content? Do I run a search in the app, or how do I pull out the content I need?
Whether you're on mobile device or you're on your hospital desktop, you have the app is curated by team. So it's all the way down to my ICU, my ED. I search that. If it's not in my ED, but it's a practice that my ICU is following, I can see that as well. But if it is outside of my ecosystem, out of my institution, I cannot see it. We then track that so-and-so is looking for how to set up the dialysis circuit. And the manager is then informed, hey, that's a knowledge gap of my staff. They're searching for this and they can't find it. Great, that's content that I should be bringing into the system. So we have a feedback loop to drive constant growth.
Okay, so this is mainly a knowledge management application, right?
It's knowledge management, but it's knowledge management in a way that actually makes information accessible and digestible in the moment. People want to do the right thing, but they do not have the time to go running around and how to find it. Rather, they just ask the person next to them and you have a game of telephone. Hence, you have so much variation.
My last question, what do you see from a customer perspective? Where do you see the benefit of deciding to share their own content and practices with the community?
So if we look at our client base already, roughly speaking, for every one practice that is picked up by the network of your practice, you're bringing in 5 from others. So there's a network effect there. Every hospital, every ICU manager is tackling a variation of the same problem, and they are hungry to know how their peers are solving it. So you get more than you have to give.
That's interesting. I've always seen doctors who were very jealous of their very special practices.
Yes, but you know what? When you share your practices, your fame goes up. Your reputation goes up.
Yeah. I know.
Why is YouTube so successful?
Quotations and so on. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, all right. We are going to move on to our last startup for the day. And excited. Let's do this, and then we'll open it up for 7 to 10 minutes of feedback for any of the startups that have presented. So last but not least, we have Bloom Standard from the USA as well, a pre-seed company having raised about $900,000 so far, founded by the mother of a baby diagnosed with heart defects at 3 days old. Bloom Standard is the first self-driving chip-based ultrasound screening device. Let's check out the video.
Hello, I'm Anna Marie Saarinen, the co-founder and CEO of Bloom Standard. We're developing the world's first self-driving ultrasound, a wearable device that helps to early identify babies and children with serious heart and lung conditions, including COVID-19. This is my daughter, Eve. She looked perfectly healthy when she was born, but was diagnosed with critical heart defects at just 3 days old when her heart was this big, just the size of a walnut. She's only alive today because of access to early diagnosis and life-saving treatment. Ultrasound is commonly used in high-level medical facilities, but pediatric ultrasound is virtually non-existent in community hospitals and primary care settings. The equipment I'm using in this photo is too expensive, immobile, and most of all, too technical for widespread adoption. It's why 95% of the world's children lack access to what the WHO refers to as essential medical imaging. Bloom's solution is automation. Our novel chip-based sensors and wrap design capture images autonomously while significantly lowering manufacturing costs at scale. Imagine a device that simply requires enough skill to appropriately place it on the patient and press start. Self-driving sensors and AI-driven screening protocols flag problems and guide next steps. The images from our initial functional prototypes are clinical grade, comparable to commercially available medical ultrasound probes in resolution and quality. We're beginning pediatric patient trials in 5 sites across 4 continents, optimizing our sensor placement and machine learning algorithms. Even before COVID-19, governments and facilities were increasing investments in lower cost portable diagnostics. We're leaning into those revenue streams focused on channel sales, government procurement, and an app ecosystem that allows us to expand quicker. We're focused on strong pre-existing partnerships and expressed interest from public health purchasers already asking for our solution. This is a $3 billion total market opportunity. That's in our target regions alone. With an APAC-focused rollout, followed by additional expansion, we project our $50 million in annual sales in the first 4 years. We've just started our third pediatric device grant from the FDA-sponsored Children's National Hospital Ecosystem, and have just been included in the WHO's Compendium of Innovative Health Technologies. We've been fortunate to have assembled a world-class clinical and technical advisory board with internationally known individuals and institutions, plus academic, technical, and global health partnerships to accelerate our early product development and our pathway to the market. Our leadership team includes veterans in product development, commercialization, global health, and biomedical engineering, collectively raising more than $60 million in previous startup tech funding. Few startups can say they've successfully collaborated with ministries of health and policymakers to secure policies that have already impacted millions of babies and children. We've done that. Thank you for helping us in making sure every child can have the same opportunity my child did to survive and thrive.
Excellent. And we have Anna Marie here with us in the studio. So who wants to start off with questions for Bloom Standard?
I will ask. Thank you for the presentation. Very important, very sensitive area, obviously. I think the issue is one of trust, that moms will, do this rather than go to their physician. How will you market? How do you expect the successful marketing to work?
Thanks for the question, and thanks for letting me be here today. And what a joy to hear the rest of the innovators. Congratulations on all your progress. So this would not be something we would, at least in our phase 1 rollout, be having mothers or home-based users use straight away. So that's not really part of the marketing strategy right now. So when I say primary care medicine, we really mean that. So frontline clinics that may have only an RN or a basic GP, or think about a frontline health worker in Ethiopia. So someone that has very basic skill. They typically do weighing a child. They might be able to do blood pressure. So very basic kind of physical assessments that they can place this device, press a start button, and get an answer within a few minutes as to whether or not there's something abnormal that needs a referral onward to a higher level of care.
Understood. Then distribution is something that obviously you need to think about, because you're talking areas and locations and geographies that may be underprivileged in some ways. So distribution would be very important.
Yes, of course. And I think that's our dual market approach really, is working in the B2G side, which is where my strengths are.
Exactly.
If you can, for instance, secure your first purchasers at the regional or national level with the Ministry of Health, then they're sort of assuming the responsibility of distribution.
Exactly. Of pushing it down. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, it sort of meets two modes, like, right, it accelerates implementation into the field, but for us as a mission-driven organization, it's the B2G strategy is a lot about impact. Like, how can we reach the highest number of children in the fastest way possible? So that is sort of the B2G side of things. But then there's the sort of the US and European market, which is going to require some infrastructure in terms of channel selling directly into health systems that have these outlying clinics and primary care settings.
Thank you.
All right. Any additional questions for Anna Marie? If not, we will open up the 7 to 10 minute sessions for open feedback. All right. Well, yes, this is a time where the jury can give generic feedback to everyone that's presented today. And if you have any specific questions for any of the startups or the representatives that are here, feel free to ask directly. Yeah, so we'll kick that off now for the next 5, 7, 10 minutes, and then we will conclude this session.
Okay, may I have a question to the previous team which presented, Dr. My knowledge management guy.
Elemeno.
Elemeno, yeah.
Elemeno, right?
Okay, right, sorry. I just had one other question, which was, can you tell me a little bit more about the pricing of your product?
Yeah, so we're subscription. So what we have is that if you are an ICU, you're a high risk, high complexity unit. If you're a general medical ward, you're a low risk unit. So for example, the high risk unit right now in the US, we're pricing at $3,000 per month subscription. It's all you can eat for content that's going through there. It's all you can eat for users, whether they're full-time, they're part-time, they're floats, they're travelers, it doesn't matter. So it's a cost that the manager can budget for and understand. As we go up to enterprise, there's discounts and it comes down from there.
Okay, but it's an annual subscription, regardless of the number of users, regardless of the content which is used.
Exactly. So it makes it easy for the captain to be able to do what's important to them and get it done.
Yeah, because you can easily forecast that and budget that.
Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thanks a million.
Sure.
One more question. I think the value of this data management or knowledge management solution is in aggregation of the content. Is that possible? Is that possible across hundreds and possibly thousands and tens of thousands of content providers? Because I think the real value would be in aggregating this data, this content.
Exactly. So
and driving conclusions from it.
Or so at least, score the best content.
Something like that. I think otherwise it's impossible to pull through the data. And you may sit on something extremely valuable and practically useless.
Yeah. So to that end, here early on, and actually part of our raise right now, we're actually doing our Series A right now. But with that raise is about using the knowledge graph, if you will, and applying the appropriate taxonomy. We're using SNOMED taxonomy and using NLP so that we can connect that content. So as we scale up, if I'm saying, hey, I'm a manager, I'm looking at central line care, all that knowledge is connected with each other. So I can look for what's the right way to dress central lines, or what are the different audits for central lines, or what are the other kinds of hospital-acquired infections, to connect this in a way that is meaningful. To your point, it has to be easy for me to surface relevant content. And we're collecting from our users what they like, what they don't like, and then correlating that with outcomes. So to your point, you can start to see what are the content that is driving the most success on any given topic. That's the one that I'm more likely to be able to grow.
Very good. Very good. I mean, I just wanted to make sure you're thinking about it, and no surprise, you are.
Thanks.
Okay, then I had a very short piece of feedback for Mark. Mark, I don't know if it was only me, but I had major challenges at reading through your slides. I know that you were saying a lot, but there was also a lot of text that I was really not able to read because it was going super quickly. And maybe I'm not quick enough at reading. I don't know if others had the same challenge, but I was really unable to read through some of the data that you were presenting.
Okay, well, I'll try to address that in the future.
Thank you, Mark.
I had two quick questions for Ofer from AlephBot. So you presented the vision kind of as really addressing protocol inconsistencies throughout health systems and the medical practice. You're starting off with in kind of the cardiac world. So the grand vision, are you planning on building a piece of hardware for each kind of use case or application department wise, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, after you get through this first product that you're working through? And the second question, why did you choose to start off with kind of the cardiac use case that you found? Like, was it the easiest problem to solve? Was it a major source of cost, or was it had the highest impact you saw in the medical setting?
Okay. First of all, thank you. I'll start with the second question. We're building a technology platform, and since we would like to go to the market as soon as possible, the ACLS protocol is a protocol that is used worldwide. So once you target it here in Israel, it's relatively easy to transform the technology, the tech platform into other regions and countries as well. Now, for the first question, we're building a platform, and the platform is following very similar to the knowledge base that is trying to attack or trying to overcome the missing in solutions for teams and practitioners. We're just trying to do that in real time. And therefore, our platform is collecting the data in real time. And it's a matter of software rather than hardware to adjust it to other use cases in the hospital.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And then just, general feedback to everyone. First off, it's quite frankly, I don't really have anything substantial, mainly because I already know how difficult it is to try to fit your life's work, your team, your bios, everything into 3 minutes. And so while there's certainly a little bit of something that everyone could have added in, questions that we certainly could have asked and said, it's hard to do it in 3 minutes. I know, I've been there. And so, I don't think it's anyone's fault. So I just wanted to say, as someone who, this is always really exciting for me to get to hear about in a very concentrated hour what everyone is working on. I went to university as a biomedical student, then went to the dark side of business and never did anything in biomed. And now I happen to work with 2 hospital funds, investing into startups. It's always really exciting to hear about all this. So my feedback to everyone is great job. I know it's difficult. I know it can feel trivial almost to try to condense everything you've been working on for years into 3 minutes, but I really do appreciate it. I'm sure my other 2 judges do as well.
Same here. Big congrats to everybody, because in any case, I found all of your projects super interesting. If we were having more time, I was going to ask thousands of questions, because there were many really interesting points, and really well done to everybody for making it so effective and so short.
I echo this. The Hambro Perks Oryx Fund is not a biotech investor or pharma. We do health tech, but usually that is a software solution. So devices are outside my scope and understanding. And even I was able to understand the devices that were showcased, which actually meant that you guys did a very good job for 3 minutes to explain at a very low level in a crystal clear manner what the device does. And of course, it could always be clearer, especially on the differentiation front, because I don't have as good of a grasp as to how your product fits in some cases, in some instances, because it's a device and I haven't really invested in a device before. But again, in 3 minutes, this is very, very difficult. So great job. And I think we could easily take an hour with each one of you, and we will still have questions at the end. So to everybody, really best of luck and well done. All these projects are very, very important.
Absolutely. Thank you to the judges for all of your effort and the feedback, and thank you to the startups. If you guys know, I've literally seen every one of the pitches that have happened, and my only feedback, because I'm extremely impressed, and I've been a part of pitch competitions before. I've done my own pitches, but one of the things that stood out of all of the people that we've been able to see in the projects that have presented were either projects that started or finished with their why. So if you can connect that real personal story to the project, that's going to help investors and people and anyone that you're presenting to recognize your project more. So I know the diabetes guy, I know the mom who saved her baby, exactly. And I know the dialysis, and you guys saw me get emotional off of that. And so that's from the lens of somebody that has seen this over the last, I think we put in about 14 hours watching pitches over the last 2 days. But also I'm a marketing PR and lead investor on a couple of different projects. So that's what I'm also looking for. How can I connect personally with your story, your project? Because that why is the reason why I would invest or a fund may invest, because it's that extra motivation that gets you through that difficult time of wanting to give up after you've tried to raise this first 10 million for the last 10 years. So, but great job, everybody. Thank you again to all the participants. Thank you to everyone that's been watching. Thank you to the team that has organized this, the production, and just everybody that's been involved. So great job. This actually concludes the Founders Games of Webit's Global Impact Week. And so we wanted to say happy holidays to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your year and finish strong to the startups. And thank you and happy New Year.